Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Spearhead magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, obviously, why not give the video a thumbs up? If you'd like to see more of this type of content and carry on following along for, me kind of aimlessly looking and criticising parts of this magazine and all that type of good stuff, and the other content that we hopefully will eventually get around to putting out on the channel. I say that near enough all the time. Obviously, subscribe to the channel, and last but not least, why not drop a comment as well? One, it goes a massive way to helping out the channel, and two, I absolutely love hearing back from you guys, whether you're stopping by to say hello, whether you're just saying what you're enjoying about the current magazine, or what you'd like to see in future magazines, or anything like that. Super appreciated, and it goes a massive way to helping the channel grow. Anyway, before we jump into this week's issue, I just want to quickly say, obviously, if you enjoyed Warhammer 40k magazine, Combat Patrol magazine, obviously, unfortunately, it has now finished. However, if you want to carry on your journey into 40k and get into the newest edition before the next potential magazine, we don't know if there will be one. Obviously, you will be able to pre-order the next magazine as of Saturday, the 6th of June. You can pre-order it directly from good old Games Workshop's website, warhammer.com. If you'd like to, you can go to a third party, whether you're going to Wayland Games or Element Games, or if you want to go to Hobby Workshop or Goblin Gaming or anywhere like that, you can do. If you go to Element Games or Wayland Games, not only will you get a little bit of a discount on your box, however, you will also, if you use my affiliate links down below, you will help support the channel. It gives me a tiny kickback from every purchase you make. I can't retire on that type of money, but, it does help support the channel, which I operate at a loss. I'm not going to get any freebies out of this. This is not advertising, so you can shop wherever you like. It is entirely up to you. I'm just giving you a bit of information if you'd like it. Anywho, the other thing I'm going to quickly mention is UK Games Expo is over for another year. We will have another one next year, which I must admit I'm really looking forward to already, because it is one of the most fun days of the year. I love walking around there. This year I didn't play anything while I was there, but I did feel like I was walking around far more than I ever have when I've been there, which was really enjoyable. I got some really cool stuff from there. So I got some exclusive Warhammer minis, which, Warhammer's more expensive than majority of other brands. So when I say I bought 3 minis and it cost me 75 quid, I am not lying. I bought the exclusive Cities of Sigmar mini that was available there. I bought a commemorative series Skaven mini that was available there, and I bought myself one of the Blood Bowl star players for the Vampire Counts team, which super cool. However, 75 quid for 3 minis is slightly extortionate. However, on the other side of things, I did buy some other really cool stuff. So I bought myself the Duncan Rhodes minis, which he was a pack of 2 available, which, if you haven't already checked out the minis for the new thing that he's supporting, the Sir Coates, I think it's called, skirmish game that's going to come out, by all means check that out. Definitely worth having a nosy, because their minis are pretty good. I also treated myself to a game called Guards of Traitors Toll, where you get guardsmen and you get townsfolk, and the game is basically you'll have townsfolk that are rebelling against the guards and such like that, which is pretty damn cool. I also bought a starter box for Carney Vale as well, which I've not built those minis yet, but they do look pretty damn cool. I also bought a fleet box for one of the Drop Fleet Commander set as well, where my brother-in-law bought the starter set with all the rules and everything like that. I bought myself one of the little sets so I have some of the ships to what I can get painting with, and will nick the rules off him at some point, I'm sure. But yeah, really cool stuff. I picked up a few other little bits and pieces here and there as well, mostly smaller bits, but really worth it. It's really good fun. If you ever go to this, obviously it is super crowded, it is super busy, but there are some really good things there. You also find out new stuff as well. So for instance, Mantic Games obviously have an Assassin's Creed game coming out, which looks pretty decent, and they have more and more stuff coming as and when as well. And there are some other really cool games, so I'm looking forward to Gundam Assemble when that comes out, and obviously there is already the card game that you can get a hold of now for Gundam, and I already have some of the figures because there was a special set, and more. So some really good stuff to look forward to. It's not all just your standard board games like Monopoly, Uno and all that type of stuff. You have all your minis there and some super cool bits and pieces that you can get hold of. So definitely worth a trip if you'd like to. I didn't film while I was there because I must admit I find it a little bit awkward. I feel a little bit awkward doing it. I need to snap out of that at some point, but yeah, I'll try to next year. Anywho, enough rambling on, and let's just crack on with what this video is all about, which is obviously issue number 13 of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Spearhead magazine. It is our final Skaven mini, so that wraps up the 2 Spearheads that kickstarts all of this magazine off. So we get the good old Clawlord on Norbeast. The Clawlord, obviously being part of Clan Verminus, is not exactly beholden to any of the other clans like Clan Scryer, but is essentially like a mercenary for hire and one of the kind of leaders of the main Skaven hordes and everything like that. The Norbeast is a bit of a weird warped monstrosity that's essentially a super giant rat ridden by another giant rat, which is pretty cool. It's another push fit mini. I'm not admit I've already got one of these. I'm not going to knock it because they are really cool and quite interesting and super good fun. So I will eventually get around to building this, but I have such a building backlog that yeah, it's going to take me a while. But yeah, otherwise really cool stuff, and it should be a really good one. Now, I'm not going to lie, this issue does not have any lore in there or anything like that. We literally start off with our build guide, so it's relatively straightforward. Obviously, trim your mold lines off, clip off your parts and everything like that. Push fit it all together. You don't need any glue. Obviously, push fit minis can be a little bit tedious at times and don't always fit together very well, but you can do things to kind of mitigate that, which I've explained in other videos, where you can utilize certain glues. You can kind of create your own grey stuff and everything like that if you wanted to. If you want to trim off the pegs and just glue it all together, you can do. By all means, go for it. It's your mini. Go for it how you think will best suit this kit. Building it all up, fairly straightforward. When it's all done, you should have a couple of sub builds really. So you'd have 1 and 2. Personally, I would paint that base area before putting that on, because then you can get into all the detail on that little base area where it's kind of like pooling through. So that should be kind of like a nice vibrant green, and you can have a green glow on the base and everything like that if you wanted to, and make it look pretty cool. So you can do that type of thing before assembling everything, and painting up the Clawlord separate from the Norbeast itself will also make it easier to paint both of them and get all them little bits of detail, in all honesty. You also have your paint guide as well for this week, which it's not telling you to do the sub builds. I personally just would, because it just makes life easier for painting in loads and loads of detail. So if you're an experienced painter and you've got quite a collection of paints, you don't need to faff around and wait for everything to turn up. If obviously you're following the guide, yeah, it's up to you. you could go straight for it if you wanted to. You're not going to have anything majorly wrong with it. It's just, personally, sub builds is far easier to paint in with this type of kit. But otherwise, you're going to have, it looks like some really, really kind of naff way of painting to begin with, and like a very cheap toy when it's like that, because it's got no real detail in there or anything like that. But if you want to give it the detail, obviously you're going to be utilising things like your Agrak Surfshade, which gives a really nice kind of change in tone to everything, and it'll look a little bit more like that. If you want to add more and more, and obviously if you've got your own paints, obviously go for it, have fun with it, enjoy it, and kind of paint it up how you see fit, and you can get some really, really good looking kit out of it as well. So, your choice. Anywho, rambling on about painting seems to be a common theme already with this magazine. Anyway, moving on, we get more and more basics for the how to play the game. So obviously you're going to need to learn about mortal damage and ward saves. During this guide, you'll learn how to deal devastating mortal damage and how to protect your units from harm with ward saves. Obviously, they are going to recap with what you're going over, what we've learned previously in the last issue or two, with the attack sequence and coherency of units as well. So obviously, units of multiple models generally should be stick together. So if you have a unit of 5 liberators, they should all be moving as one, and so on. Then it gives us kind of our details about the abilities and controlling objectives, and obviously moving on to the actual mortal damage and ward saves information that you need to learn to kind of keep you going. For instance, you have here the information about how to utilize the mortal damage rules and utilizing your Grey Seer up against the Liberators here, and obviously you can kind of tinker with it. Following the guide gives you a very nice way of kind of going through everything, and then obviously you are going to have ward saves. So you roll for your ward saves, which can protect your minis against being killed instantly by anything. So for instance, you have your damage pool, you have your ward save, and then you have the actual damage allocated to the mini. So utilizing that within the game is very, very handy. It works extremely well and will be very, very important when you're playing games of Spearhead and when you're playing major games of Age of Sigmar and full battles and so on. So keeping all of that in mind, obviously the good thing with these type of pages is that you can put them into a folder of your choosing. You don't have to utilize their own, and keep all the basic rules all together in one simple area to kind of help you work through it. So you learn more and more about basics as you go, and if you need to, it makes it easier to refer to them as well. So it's not all bad. Moving on from there, carrying on with the basics and how to teach you the basics, our newest battle. So, utilising your Grey Seer and 10 Clan Rats going up against a Lord Veritant and 5 Liberators. Utilising your battle mat, you can use either side, it does not matter which. You'll need dice, your wound markers and your rulers. So, you get to have a bit of fun with this one. So, obviously, going through all of it, you should think that Clan Rats outnumber the Liberators, but they're a little bit squishier, so you get to have a bit of fun. Following the turn guide and everything like that, you get to utilise certain abilities that you can enhance your chances of victory. However, victory is never assured for any faction within the Immortal Realms, and it should be good fun. So, definitely worth having a playthrough, definitely worth having a try out, and picking up those basics and those kind of systems and rules and everything like that as you go. Now, we're going to move on. So, next week, issue number 14 is a paint issue. We get Drakenhof Nightshade and we get Calgar Blue. Both fairly decent paints. We are going to be utilising the Calgar Blue, as you can see, just here. Do I agree with that shade? Yeah, it's not too bad. Obviously, you're going to use a Drakenhof Nightshade probably over the top of all of that, and all those main parts of the wings as well, to kind of shade all of that, and gives it a nice blue hue. Yeah, it's okay. It's not too bad. I can't knock it. It's not terrible, but you know, it's your way of painting it if you wanted to. The other thing I'm going to quickly mention is we do know what the Spearhead is going to be after issue number 14. So it's going to be the Seraphon, so your lizardmen of the Age of Sigmar, which will be really, really good fun, I'm not going to lie. However, I haven't had full breakdown come through in any website yet. I'm still trying to track down a very comprehensive breakdown, but it looks like we've got warriors in the first 2 issues spread across 2 issues, so issues 15 and 16, which were revealed on Forbidden Planet. I imagine we'll get the Croxigors not long after, and obviously the Saurus Old Blood on Carnosaur will be coming very, very soon into that as well. So should be really, really good fun. Obviously we've got some really cool kits to look forward to, so it's going to be enjoyable, to say the least. And obviously having the Seraphon is a really cool way of doing it. Also, if that's to be believed, we also have a terrain issue round about issue 17, I think it is our first piece of terrain. We also, after the Seraphon are done, from what I have seen online, it is believed it will be the Chaos faction, the Slaves to Darkness faction. So we'll get some Chaos Warriors and stuff like that. So just keep an eye out. Basically, as soon as I can find somewhere that has an actual decent comprehensive list of what's coming up in each issue, we will go through everything, and the intention is to kind of talk you through each Spearhead as and when we can as well. So we'll have a good overview later on. But for now, thank you very, very much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you as soon as possible. Bye bye now.